Have you ever felt drained, confused, or constantly anxious in a relationship, but couldn't explain why? Sometimes love isn't love. It's control, manipulation, or emotional harm hiding under the surface. Today, we're going to talk about something very real: toxic relationships. And more importantly, 8 clear psychological signs that you might be in one. No drama, no judgment, just honest insights and real examples to help you understand what's going on and how to protect your peace. First one is constant criticism, disguised as honesty. In toxic relationships, criticism often becomes a daily thing, but not in the way healthy feedback works. It may start subtly. You always forget everything.
You want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Or, why can't you be more like someone else? They say it's just honesty, but in reality, it chips away at your self-esteem. Psychologically, this is known as gaslighting or negative reinforcement. They point out your flaws constantly, so you start doubting your self-worth. In healthy relationships, people offer support and constructive feedback. In toxic ones, criticism becomes a tool of control. Example, your partner tells you, "You look weird in that outfit." And when you react, they say, "Relax. I'm just being honest." Over time, you stop expressing yourself altogether. Second one, you feel emotionally drained. After interactions in a toxic relationship, you may not even realize how emotionally exhausting it's become until you step away. You constantly walk on eggshells, trying not to upset the other person. Even simple conversations leave you feeling anxious or tired. Psychologists call this emotional burnout. Your nervous system stays in a state of alertness, which takes a toll on your mental health. This can lead to chronic anxiety, sleep issues, or even depression. When love becomes a full-time job that leaves you exhausted, it's not love, it's emotional harm. Example, after spending time with your partner, instead of feeling safe or relaxed, you feel relieved it's over. That's a red flag. Third one, everything is always your fault. Another common sign is blame shifting. No matter what goes wrong, it's somehow your fault. They never take responsibility for their actions, and if you try to express your feelings, it turns into an argument where you're made to feel guilty. This is rooted in deflection and manipulation, 2 classic toxic traits. Over time, this destroys your confidence and makes you question your instincts. You begin to think, maybe it really is me. Example, they shout at you, then later say, "You made me angry." That's emotional manipulation, not accountability. In healthy relationships, both people take responsibility and grow together, not tear each other down. Fourth sign is they use guilt to control you. This one is more common than you think. Toxic partners use guilt to get what they want. Statements like, "If you really loved me, you would do this." "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." This behavior is a form of emotional blackmail. They manipulate your empathy to keep you from making your own choices. The psychology behind it is based on guilt tripping, a subtle but powerful control tactic that plays on your desire to be seen as good or loyal. Example, you want to spend time with friends, and your partner says, "Fine, go have fun while I sit alone again." It sounds small, but repeated patterns like this isolate you over time. The fifth one is you feel isolated from friends or family. Toxic partners often isolate you, sometimes subtly, sometimes intentionally. They might say things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family doesn't understand us." This is a red flag. It's called social isolation.
The best thing about being isolated is spending quality time with the kids.
And it's a classic tactic in toxic relationships. By cutting you off from your support system, they become your only emotional outlet.
Emotional, damn it!
Which gives them more control. Psychologists call this dependency conditioning, where the toxic partner creates a false sense of "only I understand you." Example: you stop going to family gatherings or hanging out with friends because it always causes a fight. Isolation is never love. It's control in disguise. Sixth sign: you're afraid to speak your truth. In a healthy relationship, communication is open and respectful. But in a toxic one, even small disagreements feel like walking into a storm. You start hiding your feelings, avoiding certain topics, or keeping things bottled up because you're afraid of how they'll react. This is a sign of emotional suppression, and it's often caused by fear conditioning, when your brain learns to avoid conflict by staying silent. Over time, this affects your self-expression, confidence, and mental clarity. You shouldn't feel punished for speaking your truth. Example: you want to talk about something that bothered you, but you stop yourself thinking, "It's not worth the drama." That's not normal. That's fear talking. Next sign is there are cycles of high highs and low lows. One day, everything feels perfect. Sweet texts, gifts, attention. The next day, you're being ignored or yelled at. These ups and downs can be emotionally addictive. It's called intermittent reinforcement, a powerful psychological pattern often seen in trauma bonds. The unpredictability keeps you hooked. You chase the good moments, hoping they'll last, but they rarely do. Example: after a big fight, they suddenly become romantic or apologetic, making you feel hopeful again. But it doesn't last. Healthy relationships don't rely on emotional whiplash to feel real. The last sign is you don't feel like yourself anymore. This is perhaps the most painful sign. Losing your identity. You start noticing you've changed. Not in a good way. You're quieter, less confident, more anxious. You may feel like you're living to please them instead of living for yourself. In psychology, this is called self-concept erosion. You gradually disconnect from your passions, goals, and even personality to survive the relationship. Example: you used to love reading or painting, but you stopped because it wasn't important, or they didn't support it. A healthy relationship should support your growth, not erase it. At the end, if any of these signs felt familiar, know this: you're not alone, and you're not overreacting. Recognizing toxic patterns is the first step toward healing. The second step is reminding yourself that you deserve better. Peace, love, and respect are not too much to ask for. If this video helped you or someone you know, consider subscribing for more psychology-based insights. Let's keep growing together, one step at a time.
Bye bye, Tata, goodbye, Gaya.